Welcome to the CAC series on animal behavior. This is the chapter on animal culture. When you think of culture, you probably think of scenes like this. Culture refers to behaviors that are characteristic of a particular social group. These behaviors are passed down from generation to generation through social learning. However, culture is not exclusive to humans. Many biologists have found evidence of culture in non-human animals as well. These examples of culture in non-humans become especially clear when studying the behavior of the same species in different locations. Consider, for instance, one of our closest living relatives, the chimpanzee. In Gombe National Park, the chimpanzees termite fish. They make their own tool by selecting a twig and removing the leaves. Then they place the twig in the termite mound, remove it, and eat the termites that have crawled onto the twig. In Mahale National Park, just a short distance away, the chimpanzees also fish in a similar manner. But instead of fishing for termites in a termite mound, they fish for ants in a tree. Of course, there are ants in trees and termites in termite mounds in both locations, but these different groups of chimpanzees have learned to use tools to exploit different food resources. They teach the younger members of the group these skills and practices, and the tradition continues. They each have a behavior that is characteristic of their particular social group, passed down by social learning. In other words, they each have their own culture. Let's look at another example of culture in a different primate species, the Japanese macaque. Japanese macaques are fairly well known for spending time in hot springs, seemingly to avoid extreme winter temperatures. However, not all troops of Japanese macaques take advantage of this resource. The behavior of soaking in hot springs is characteristic of only some troops and has been passed down by social learning, so it is another great example of culture in non-human animals. In humans, we often consider language or even different accents a part of culture, and scientists have actually found that different groups of orca whales have different dialects. Listen to the sounds that are made by these orcas that live near Alaska. Now listen to the sounds that orcas make near Iceland. It's easy to hear the difference. Pretty remarkable, right? These are just some of the many examples of culture in non-human animals, but you can already begin to see that culture is not a strictly human quality, and that behaviors that are characteristic of a particular social group, which are passed down from generation to generation through social learning, are actually quite common throughout the animal kingdom. By understanding this diversity of culture, to me, the world actually becomes an even more beautiful place. In a way, the world itself can almost be seen as a community of cultures.